Perfect. I think we are live now. I can see people are joining, which is amazing. Hello, everyone. Greetings from the UK. Thank you so much for joining our webinar today. My name is Degina Weatherill, and I'm the Director of Recruitment within InUni UK Division, a company of global university systems overseeing international students recruitment for a number of our UK partner universities. And today I'm extremely excited to talk about one of our premium partner universities, beautiful Canterbury Christ Church University. And we will be specifically covering School of Arts within CCCU. I'm also excited to be joined by colleagues from the university. So we have Dr. Andy Hurst, a senior lecturer in the School of Creative Arts and Industries and course director for the Musical Theatre and Performing Arts degrees. We have Dr. Panos Gikas, a course director for the BA Creative Music Production and Technology. We have Miranda Hudson, course director for BA Photography. We also have Will Hill, course director for BA Graphic Design, and we have Professor Alan Midas, a faculty director of Enterprise and Innovation, or anything to do with games design. And we also have Richard Venner, International Business Development Manager at CCCU. And I'm also joined by my colleagues from InUni, Sibel and Anand, who help us to run this webinar smoothly. So just a few housekeeping rules before we start. You're all on mute. If you'd like to ask any questions, please feel free to do so. Just pop them into the Q&A section. So that's Q&A section rather than chat section. And we will take them at the very end of the webinar. So I really hope you can stay till the end with us. Other than that, sit back and enjoy. And I really hope you find this webinar useful and really, really inspiring. Thank you. And it's over to our academics to present. I think you're on mute, guys. And whilst we're sorting the screen, just to reiterate that the webinar is being recorded and the recording will be shared with you after the webinar. Also to highlight, we still accept applications for September 2024 intake. If you are our educational partner, please do submit applications for your students via GAS Gateway. If you have already submitted your applications and just waiting for the offer letter or waiting for consultation, you can schedule your consultation with my team on the ground at the soonest, and we do encourage you to do so, as well as submit outstanding documents so that we can process your offer letters for the next stage of the admission process. If you have received your unconditional offer letter already, then do book your precast interview with the university. And if you have already passed it, please do proceed with your deposit payment and CAS request. The university is already issuing CASs for September 2024 intake, and we already had students successfully receiving visas as well. So the sooner you apply for your visa, the better, to avoid any mad rush during summer. As we know, summer is getting really, really busy with all students' applications. So admissions might be busy, as well as compliance team for interviews. And once you have received your CAS letter, you can already start booking your accommodation. And we do encourage you to consider accommodation at Canterbury Christ Church University on campus itself. Really great options there. If you do have any questions on accommodations, please do reach out to our team and we'll be able to help you with that. And I think the screen is sorted now, so I'll leave it to academics to present. Thank you.
Absolutely fantastic kind of time filling there, Degina. You're an expert. So just so everyone isn't completely kind of out of the loop, we had those kind of issues with permissions. You know, when you have an update on your Mac and it says you can't do this anymore, we've managed to fix it. So thank you.
Well done. That was great.
Over. Yeah, my colleague Will Hill.
That was like a moment when Eurovision goes slightly wrong, but no, excellent.
I wish I could host Eurovision, but not yet.
We agree, wouldn't it? It's you know, one day, perhaps that was the audition that you needed. We're here to hire you.
you.
Congratulations.
I'll take it as a compliment.
So we might be a bit chaotic in this first round between the three of us. So yes, as kindly introduced there, we have Professor, and apologies for not writing. Oh no, I have Professor there. Professor Alan Meads from Games Design.
Hello, everyone.
One of the only professors in games design.
Yeah,
Miranda said it, not me. That must be true.
You have me and an awful lot of wrinkles on my forehead. Who knows if I was frowning, upset, or doing something else? So perhaps it's just age. But yeah, my name's Will Hill, and I'm the course director for graphics.
And I'm Miranda Hutton, course director in photography. And that photograph is quite old, I think, for me now, but it's nice.
I can update it. Let me know what you'd like next time, and I'll feel free to update it for you. So a quick thing, I think hopefully you all know what a university is, but there are some things that I think are really important to kind of establish, and that a university is obviously like the highest level of education. Like we all know that, but there are things about it that I think are brilliant, and it's deep diving into passions that you love and exploring the fact that the thing that you love can be a job. And I find that so exciting. Like when you're at school, you're forced to do a certain thing, and it might be lessons that you don't necessarily love or like, and you get to kind of get rid of some of those lessons and do the thing that you absolutely love with lecturers that are really passionate about the thing that you love as well, and they'll help you to kind of get work in that industry. So I think it's a fantastic kind of thing, and you get to make friends for life at the same time. So yeah, I think university is amazing. Canterbury Christ Church University is known for being a university that is caring, that's compassionate. We're very sort of community driven. So some universities are enormous, and they feel like, I don't know, walking down a super busy street full of tuk-tuks and full of who knows what else, but elbows and
Autos, surely
autos, not tuk-tuks, autos, and it's it's not necessarily like friendly and people coming up to you. However, it feels wonderful to be able to put sort of hand on heart and say that Canterbury Christ Church University is not like that. We are sort of it feels almost like it's a family driven kind of a community driven ethos here, where everyone would help you. You look a bit lost or a bit confused and don't know where to go. Someone would be by your side to help and direct you within a second. So knowing that this is sort of our values and our beliefs just feels wonderful. So it makes me really proud to work here. And I know that kind of environment, like you see that the students love being here.
Well, it supports students. It means that you as a student get the most out of your education. You need to be supported to grow and learn the skills and do the things you want to do. So it isn't just kind of warm and fuzzy and friendly. It actually helps you to excel. And that's what university is about. Yeah,
I mean, that's so true, because it changes everything from how some students go somewhere and there's millions of students, not millions, obviously that's an exaggeration, but there's loads and loads of students, but you don't get that one-on-one time with staff. You don't get to learn in the way that you would when teaching like a friend or teaching someone. Like, the pedagogy of how we teach is so different from some other institutions where it's all about that supportive nature.
Can I say that possibly, sorry, Miranda, I can't come to you, but possibly people in the webinar astounded by the chaos already and the kind of the lack of formality. Now, not every course is like this, but this lack of formality doesn't mean a lack of qualification or a lack of expertise. It means that we are transparent, we are open, we are friendly, and we are there to work with our students. So if this seems a bit odd, lots of our international students find it odd at first, but they learn to embrace it and then they excel. So don't think that this is crazy stuff.
No,
this is the
it's
real
actually
deal.
more fun, if I may say. Sorry to interrupt, but I think it's quite fun already, and it makes students, I guess, and attendees here to engage a little bit more. So if you are a student out there or one of our educational partners and a bit shy and a bit worried, don't be. If you have any questions, you can see how friendly the academics team is already, so feel free to obviously share your questions there and to connect with academics even before you come to CCCU. So yeah, I like the chaos already. So yeah.
I was going to say that it kind of reflects a lot of the industries that we work on as well, that you don't work in isolation. In graphics and photography and games, it's a collaborative, friendly atmosphere generally. So that's you know, it has a purpose as well as, you know, an enjoyable factor.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, that's just ruined a few of my slides. Thank you both for that.
Oh, we haven't seen them, so
One thing that's really important that I should mention is Canterbury Christ Church University is #1 in the country for graduates going into employment after finishing their degree. You would imagine this would be an Oxford or a Cambridge or one of these big, big institutes, but actually we are teaching our students skills to get the jobs that they want at the end of their degree. So this is really important to know because, yeah, I mean, some people will want to go off and do research and kind of work within education still, but most people will want to work in their field and get a job at the end of this. So to know that you're going at an institution that values this and will make that kind of, you know, a key cornerstone of what it's doing, I think is really important to be aware of. Cool. I won't go through all of these, but there's another thing you should know, that statistically between the courses, we have incredible sort of pedigree of stats. So it's that kind of thing of games design is 3rd in the country in the Guardian's League table. Graphic design is the #1 in Kent. There's 100% satisfaction on our courses, 100% satisfaction. And when I'm saying 100% here, some of the other courses in the country, the average is like 60%.
Wow.
So these 100% are enormous. And the student surveys are done by students that finish their 3rd year, get to say, honestly, whatever they think of the course, and they're saying 100% that they love being taught here. So these stats are incredible.
And it's tricky, isn't it? Because when you're looking at universities, you'll look at lots of different league tables, and you'll look at the national league table position of everything. And quite often, I think the stuff that is really, really telling is student experience. Not whether or not it's Oxford or Cambridge, which, yeah, they might be very top of the league table for almost everything. But if the student's experience isn't great, if it doesn't help them to build their confidence and build their skills, that experience can be absolutely terrible. So that's why we're so proud of these numbers and why we show them off at events like this.
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of the stuff that we teach, again, some places this really like boils my brain, but some institutions will only teach you how to learn your subject out of a book, which makes no sense. You're doing something practical. You want to learn these skills. And that is completely our ethos. So if you're doing music, musical theatre, performance, photography, games, you will learn how to do these subjects by actually doing it, getting hands-on with equipment. So again, it's just one thing to be aware of, that not all universities do that. And, you know, there's a reason that the term book smart exists, and that's not how we teach on our courses. The teaching style, as you can see, is very friendly, is very kind of committed to working one-on-one with the students. And we teach with a mixture of kind of lectures, tutorials, but most of the time in our subjects, it's kind of this workshopy environment where you do get stuck in straight away. I should say that on our subjects, most of the time it's 100% by projects. So there's no exams, again, as much as possible, trying to teach in the real world. I've seen some universities that for graphic designs sit people in a hall and go, you've got 1 hour, 15 minutes to make a poster. Good luck. You're like, but you don't get 1 hour, 15 minutes to make a poster in the real world. So like everything we do matches how it would exist in the real world. And again, I think that's why our stats on how well our students find work is so high. The thing I want people to know when they come to Christ Church is that we absolutely believe in our students, that the second they arrive, we treat them as a junior graphic designer, game maker, photographer. And we think that, like, I know that I was a student of graphic design and I'm just a little bit further on in my journey, and you could be the next me as a course director, you could be the next professor of games, you could be the next leading photographer in the country, like you could be the next us in any time. So I think we treat our students with complete respect. We love talking with our students, and we kind of have an open door policy, much more than, again, a lot of universities. Yeah, any final thoughts on that slide from either of you two?
No.
We believe in you.
We believe in you. And I think it's, yeah, really exciting to kind of get the opportunity to instill that idea in people, because sometimes they come in anxious and just know that you're brilliant.
I've got something to say.
Go on.
Well, I do think it's additionally difficult for international students,
Yes.
because, you know, our home students, we treat all of our students in the same way, that we're friendly and accessible and care. But we do recognise that an international student is dealing with additional complexities that home students aren't. For instance, the weather, the fact that it is damp and cold, the fact that our food is disgustingly bland and boring. We do recognise these things, and staff try and do whatever they can to bridge that difference. So we do believe in you. We know you're not making an easy choice. You know, it's a difficult step that you're doing, but actually, I think that means that you know, it means you're trying extra hard to come and do that degree, and that matters to us. You know, you're making a determined choice to come and travel across the globe and work with us, and that's a fantastic privilege. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And I think that's so true. I mean, I think of some of the students that really inspire me, and they are the international students that have travelled. And you know, you think of Maddie, Kadir. I've got so many that, you know, I think of brilliant Girish. Yeah, absolutely. Path. Like so many excellent students. So yeah, absolutely. Anyway, that was
Can I just say, sorry to interrupt, can I just say it's one of the best webinar presentation slides I've seen, and we do host lots of webinars. So yeah, that's
You
really
didn't do one last
actually...
year, did you? It was even better that we had fireworks and confetti. What you need to do though is you need to invite us out to country.
Yeah,
and then we'll do the same.
We can come to Sri Lanka.
Yeah, just say
Goa.
Yeah, please do join me. You sound like so much fun.
we honestly are. We're a hoot. But yeah, I'm free on Friday, so if you need me in Sri Lanka or where, you let me know.
Perfect.
I'm writing a Eurovision song.
We'll plan some
with that.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm going to be quiet for a moment. I might interrupt, and I should say that's not me.
Can we swap seats?
We can swap seats. Yeah,
I could
have the power.
How about that?
Look, yes.
Hello, everyone. My name is Professor Alan Meads. I'm highly competent and professional, and I'm going to talk to you about games design. So who's this guy? So yeah, this is me. So I've worked at Canterbury Christ Church University now for 22 years. So since I was an infant. And what I've done is I've worked all the way through from kind of technician through to doing my PhD. I've written loads of different courses. Once upon a time I taught Will Hill. I never taught Miranda.
No, he didn't teach me.
No,
Teach you every day.
Yes, yes.
It's an ongoing lesson.
That's it. And yeah, so my research is in video games. I wrote the games course here and the postgraduate games course here. And here, that's me outside number 10 Downing Street with a couple of our students, of which one of them is an international student. That's Carson. He lost our invite to 10 Downing Street because I trust students to do things for us. We found it though in the end. But yeah, I'm a game scholar and sometimes I make games. Now, Will has already ruined this slide for me. So we are third, 1, 2, 3 down, Canterbury Christ Church University in terms of animation and games. There's only one course at the university that is in this category, and that's games design. And yeah, we are right there at the top, and that's great because it was a fairly new degree when this kind of stuff happened, because our course has been running now for 6 years. And yeah, you'll get a respected degree if you come with us. But the point is that our undergraduate and postgraduate degrees in game design don't assume that you are a game developer already. Now, I know that we have had some students from Noida who are working at Ubisoft, and they've come over to work with us to build up to a formal qualification, a postgraduate degree in game design. But we don't expect that. That's great if you have. But we just expect students to be engaged with creative practice and the discipline. So if you like games and you make things, and those things could be, you could be a writer, you could be a musician, you could be an artist, you could be a designer, you could be a programmer, any of those things. If you've got that kind of approach, that's what we're looking for. Hey, here are some pictures of things that we do. So we have students making games for the UK Games Fund. So this big monster thing was a 2D image for a funded project. The students here got £7,500 over the course of last summer to work with the UK Games Fund, a really prestigious program. We do 2D and 3D animation. We use Unreal Engine and Unity. And unlike many other courses, what we do at our undergraduate is we get students to do absolutely everything. The idea is that they learn what they're interested in, they learn their specialisms, and then we support them to go all the way through to working in industry. So yeah, high-end 3D renders in Unreal, fairly buggy 2D games from above, excellent 3D adventure games, all kinds of things. And what we do is we introduce students to a range of different creative tools and platforms. So the focus of our games course is building your creative confidence, so you know how to make these things, making sure that you understand the key theories and underlying principles for making design. And then, if I'm really honest, it's about helping you and making you feel confident enough to make contacts with industry. So something that we do in our third year is we bring people from industry to work with our students. So we've got the team behind Fall Guys and the Unreal Fortnite Lego game that just released a couple of weeks ago. They've been working with our third year students. And it means that we have effectively a really bespoke relationship with our students and with industry and with the skills that you need. And this is the way it kind of pays off. So this is, in my office, I've got a dartboard with all my favorite students on like that. It's not a dartboard because I love them all. And I kind of chart where they've gone. So we've got producer, a journalist, a QA tester, a QA lead. We've got a lead designer, a UX designer, 3D artist, lead Fortnite developer. We've got Vaughan, the teacher as well. And so we've got lots of students working in lots of interesting places. I thought we've got a student that's just become a lead designer, and I've not put their picture on this one, so that's sad. Adam will be sad. But the idea is we're making great inroads into industry, and our students are great, and we're very proud of them. There we go. How do we do it? We teach a load of skills in a load of modules. This is probably too much detail for now, but just rest assured that the way that we've designed the course introduces you from scratch. So you aren't expected to have any specific expertise when you come in. And we do that through a career strand, a theory strand, a tech strand, a creative strand, and projects. So I'm conscious of time and how many words I've said. So rest assured that our structure is there to support you. We work with Fall Guys. Find a major project. So a lot of our work is about doing these big projects because making games is a collaborative exercise. You have to work with other people and make things. And so we teach you how to work with other people, and then we bring industry in. And there we go. Here's just oh no, how did this come here? This is a
What?
what's
That's
this?
a personal
Wow,
picture. You
how
can't go showing off. Oh, family
There's been a data
holiday.
breach.
Oh, what? This is outrageous.
So Will and I were in India last month, where we had the great fortune to go and meet some students at different universities. Of course, I carried along a copy of Arcade Britannia, an excellent book that actually helped me
And
understand
it's not
India.
upside down or anything.
No, it's not. It's not. It's right there. And anyway, I'm going to pass over to this guy in his white
Wow.
shirt. You can have your seat.
Oh.
Please let me know next time you're in India. I'm going there next week, hopefully. So yeah.
We're working on this. This is good.
This is, yeah, we can come
love
next
it.
week. That's perfect. So we'll talk to our
Excellent.
people.
We loved it.
The coming home was the hard part. Yeah, we did love India.
It
Okay,
is,
I'll talk a
it
little
is,
bit
always
about
is,
graphic
yeah.
design, and I'll see if I can do it as rapid fire as Alan. Let's see what happens. Nope, not going for rapid fire, am I? That's me. That's well, 15
Jolly.
years ago. Look at how happy I am. Why have I shown this picture of me in a very cool Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles jumper? I think, like I was saying earlier, the thing about your passions and your interests and your hobbies can navigate your career. So I make comics, and I also research comics. This is my MA, How to Be Successful in Comics. And in the first month it was sort of published, released, was read by 351 people. Not bad for a essay that you don't think anyone's going to be interested in. But yeah, me as a little kid loved comics, and I'm still completely fascinated by them. I also worked for Storm Studios, and Storm Studios people may know because they made all the Pink Floyd album covers and lots of others. So Audio Slave is there, and I worked for them on a series of album covers. So here's one of mine. This is for an Australian folk singer, but we didn't do it in Australia. We did it in Spain, and the folk singer couldn't make it over to Spain. So unfortunately for him, he's got me on the front cover of his album. So if anyone wants to buy an album for $12.99 on Kim Churchill, you can have me on your bookshelf. What a token. Maybe I could send it to you all. But yeah, so we do bits of these kind of creative thinking, and I bring elements of this into the classroom. But we're actually really blessed to have a full team who have worked in industry on the course. So obviously there's me with my incredible forehead of frown and age, but there's also Rachel Hancock, who has worked in loads of creative agencies in the area, and she brings all of these creative agencies into the classroom. We've got Tony Lyons, who has worked in the industry for 132 years now, and has worked for Penguin. He's won like album cover designer of the year a few times, book cover designer of the year. So he's worked with everyone in the industry. We once had a student who couldn't find work after a couple of the months, and he rang up someone working for Warner Brothers and got her work like the next day. So who he knows in the industry is incredible. We've got Rob Flowers, who is an illustrator. You'll see his work across the globe. There was a big celebration in Japan the other day where they celebrated toast and bread, and they made these inflatable costumes of bagels and croissants, and it was all Rob's work. But if you know Rheinbiner or Mini Cheddars, his work's everywhere.
Or Adidas.
Or Adidas, or Nike, or Spalding, or any of these other enormous brands. Yeah, completely. We've got Dave Boyd, who's an academic, Dr. Dave Boyd, I should say, and he helps with all our academic writing. And finally, we've got Box the Cat. No, I mean, Katrina, who runs our print studio and does workshops on silkscreen, lino, etching, and runs like our print studio. But again, like games and photography, we bring in loads of industry experts. So here we've got John Gray and Jamie Keenan, and they are the art directors for Penguin and Publishing House, and they come in and do work. We've got Tom Burgess in the top corner, who runs his own motion graphics company and currently has a film in the works with Paramount. We've got Will Mower, who last week, I think it was Wednesday that it was properly announced, in New York won Best Designer Award, and he comes in all the time as well. And I should say,
Will, who we saw
that's Will, who we saw the other day. When we saw him the other day, we took some students to Barcelona on a trip, and we were hanging out with Will then. But yeah, so we work with loads and loads of really big top names on the course. I mentioned this a bit earlier, but we teach based on reality. So rather than teaching kind of out of books, we set projects that we know are kind of industry-led and industry-focused, and the way that we teach is through what a design studio would do. I mentioned some of the stats earlier, but I thought I'd mention them again. But they are incredible, and these are the students getting to say this, and it's where they're, they could say anything at this point. And the fact that these stats are so high just shows what a great job and what a, level of enjoyment they're having on the course. Again, I don't think I'll go into too much detail on the courses, but one thing I would say is that right now, today, all of the people that are going to be talking to you are redesigning the courses. So whilst we've got these slides up of what we might be teaching, every few years we rethink and we recalibrate and we work out what is the best way to deliver our courses. So some places you'll have it where they're just stuck for years and years and years. And we're constantly kind of rethinking, is this aligned with industry? Is this the best course we can be? And I think that's really exciting to know that you're potentially coming to an institution where they're constantly trying to improve and make things better. But here's some of the year one work. So we've got movie posters, comics, we've got people sort of doing presentations and pitches, working with agencies, and we've got some sort of montage stuff where we're learning the basics of design, some color theory, bits of history. Again, we'll be rewriting all of this coming up in the next year.
But it'll only make it better. So
but it will only make it better.
It isn't that things will fundamentally change.
No.
With graphic design, the core skills are always fundamental.
Yeah.
Refreshing.
Yeah, and I think that's really exciting because some places do get so stagnant. You look at their website, you're like, oh, like, why are you still teaching this?
It's because they've got that member of staff that's been there for 100 years.
Completely. So yeah. So here's some of our since they were June. Took me a second for that penny to drop. Some of the year two work, so packaging, design, motion graphics, so a whole range of different things, and thinking more about campaign and the message of design. And then year three, the students completely make their own project. So whatever you're interested in, I mean, I should say that you're making your own stuff the whole time, so like your favorite film. But a year through, you've worked out what industry you want to work in, who you want to work for, and you're making a piece of work that will wow someone. And then you have an end of year show, which I'm sure you'll touch on as well. Yeah, so some of our recent students, we had Bex Glendenning, who's just finished, is now working for Marvel, Netflix, DC as a comic artist and cover designer. And the one I mentioned earlier, who Tony got work for, is Gemma. And now if you see a poster moving out in the wild, Gemma has made it. So the Barbie movie, Turning Red, Battlefield, but the other day I was at the cinema for June 2, and Timothy Chalamet appeared out of the sand dunes, and there were lots of girls swooning at this, and I was like, that's Gemma's poster. So everywhere you'll see her stuff at the moment. Fab. And the way that we teach is we are aware just how big a subject graphic design is, that it spans all these different areas. So we are focused on making sure that the student knows what area they're interested in, and that we can really help them flourish in that. So we don't sort of prescribe a certain style. We don't have a house style. We really just make sure that your voice, your opinions count, and we make sure you're the best you possible. Ace, and now I'll pass on to you and get rid of that forehead picture.
Hello, everyone. I'm Miranda Hutton. I'm course director of photography, and I'm here to tell you a bit about our course in photography. So very exciting. All of these slides are illustrated with student work, our student work. You know, feel free to ask any questions you want about the work that's on there. I'm not going to be able to have time to go into all of them, but so why study photography at Canterbury Christ Church? The main three reasons, well, there are lots of reasons, but one of them is that we support a full spectrum of photographic careers. So sometimes you can go to study photography and it'll be quite a specialized course in commercial photography or documentary photography, but our course is broad, so it can support all of those aspects, all those career outcomes in one course, and you'll see why in a sec. One of those statistics that Will's already spoken about, that we were awarded for our student surveys, was 100%. All of our students awarded us as high in enabling students of freedom of expression. And we're very proud of that, because we feel that that really reflects that spectrum of career choice that we can support. We also have a huge range of camera equipment. Cameras are at the moment in the process of developing, again, away from digital SLRs into cameraless, mirrorless, sorry. And we have a full, you know, range of cameras for you to come and experiment with. So there's no need to bring or purchase a high expensive camera until you come onto the course, and then you can really have a look at the equipment and the best equipment that suits you for the chosen career path that you want to go into. So here is just a small selection of some of the kind of student work that have come through the course. The course has been established for a very long time now, and like Will and Alan are saying, we're constantly refreshing and renewing our modules to reflect the changes that are taking place within the industry. So you can see here there's a wide range of work in terms of, you know, there's a bit of photojournalism, some staged fashion work. There's some documentary projects. The hand wash car was a student in his third year who was making work locally about Folkestone and the changing demographics in Folkestone. There's some work there with the wedding photographs that was pulled from an archive. So the students really do respond in very creative ways to find their kind of vision, their future kind of creative voice going forward. So we do this by having an amazing photography team. So as I say, I'm Miranda. I'm a practicing photographer and researcher. So I studied anthropology as my first degree, whilst also working as a photographer. So I bring, you know, kind of more ideas around social sciences. Rob Ball is a senior lecturer in photography. He's published several monographs of photo books of work that he has been making around sort of coastline, tourism, and you know, the sort of amusement destinations around the arcades as well. Sorry. We have Melanie King, who's really interested in her research on sustainability in photography, so marrying those two kind of ideas. And Carl Bigmore, who's traveled the world, he's followed stories in America, so he's kind of more of a documentary photographer. So together with all of us, we have very different kind of approaches and styles, so we're able to, again, support that wide range of photographic career. We also have sessionals that come in. I didn't include that slide, but it will come across again when I get through to some of the other slides. I didn't include all the modules because we are in the process of reviewing them and refreshing our module structure. But overall, the first year is level 4, where we would expect you to come in. You know, we don't necessarily need you to have studied photography in specialist areas, but it's fantastic to see some passion for the subject and some essence or some kind of portfolio. So in level 4, we kind of learn, you are introduced to all the essential skills that you need for exposure and light management and post-production. Level 5 is seen as more of an experimental year, where you really do start sort of pushing your skills and stretching and expanding your kind of styles. And level 6 is doubling down on those skills that you've learned and really fallen in love with, so that you can go off and launch your career into the world after your studies. So one of the ways that we do this in our teaching, we have lots of field trips. So we make use of going to the coast, where we're very close to, like places like Margate and Folkestone and Ramsgate. We have connections to, and we also do London trips because we're not that far away from London. So we go and visit the Photographers Gallery and all the main galleries that are interested in photography from an art perspective. And we also do lots of live briefs. So we collaborated last year with the NHS. We went to a local hospital in Canterbury and we photographed staff. And we created these posters, which were testimonies to the diversity of staff, the careers paths, and also people that work in the NHS. And these posters, as a series of around about 20, they've been touring the different trusts in the NHS because the NHS found them so sort of valuable. We also, live briefs, but we also work on collaborations across our disciplines to kind of bring, photography students together with graphics and games, and also music as well, and performance. So it's a really kind of diverse and collaborative working environment. The other things we do is open up studying opportunities. Between all of us, we have a great network of and a wide, vast array of photographers who can come into Canterbury and speak to the students and give them feedback about their own portfolio advice as well. We invited Jamil GS, who has been photographing Drake and Mary J. Blige, and kind of coined that sort of hip hop chic style that was emerging out of America in the sort of late 90s, but sort of still kind of exists today. But, we also have, a real wide range of photographers in different sort of stages of their career. And that can be really brilliant in terms of talking directly to the students and giving them real kind of industry advice. And in the final year, there will be an exhibition of your work, which sort of showcases, your own kind of coming together to go off into the world of photography. And that's a really exciting time. And it's so that, we build up towards the big year 3 exhibition, which is happening next week. It's starting. But every year there will be some kind of showcase of your work. So you build up that confidence to be able to talk about your work and engage with your audiences. We have industry standard facilities. We have great studios, great dark rooms, black and white and color. And, just a little bit about where it can take you. So it's, photography is all, about taking photographs. Photographs are everywhere. So studying photography enables you to kind of really understand, the image creation and where it can be applied, questioning the image, not taking it for granted. So you can become photographers, but also there are, image creators, curators. There's a whole list there. We're particularly proud of Naomi Baker, who throughout her degree, she studied with us several years ago. But she's now become a sports photojournalist, very successful, traveling the world. And I'm particularly proud of her because, you know, it was quite a male-dominated industry, and she's really sort of fought her way to become one of the kind of, you know, lead photojournalists in sport now. So it's a great, great achievement. The other success stories are, you know, people like Cheney, who went on to Positive View, which is a foundation, which is a charity which supports people wanting to learn photography outside of academia. And Katie, who spent a lot of her degree taking photographs of music and the music industry, and then landed herself a job as the main music photographer for Dreamland in Margate. We are also very aware of the, you know, the sort of AI and employability. And we were having some fun with the students creating kind of portraiture and then asking AI to recreate some of their sort of, you know, fantasies of how they actually wanted to look. So using tools, you know, future technologies in photography and how that's shaping the industry is also important to us. So you will know about this. I don't need to sort of say this. Completely supportive learning, which gives student success, really well-established course. And, you know, like I say, the 100% of freedom of expression.
Can you see as you've done this, the number of participants has gone up?
Oh,
That's amazing.
oh.
Well done, you.
Brilliant.
That is
Brilliant.
Any questions? Should we stop sharing?
Perfect. Thank you so much. Really, really useful information, really inspiring. I kind of want to be a student now myself, to be honest. If that's okay, are you okay, guys, to stay till the end of the webinar to take questions at the very end? Perfect. Thank you. So we'll move on to the next presenter. Thank you. Andy, over to you.
Thanks very much. Just bear with me while I kind of get this going. I shouldn't be too long. Hopefully this is all working. No, I want to go from the beginning. There we go. Can everyone hear me all right? Can everyone see that
Yeah,
okay?
we can hear you. We can see your screen. It's perfect. Thank you.
Well, thank you to Miranda, Will, and Alan. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to follow that, guys. So thanks very much. You know, I was frantically ringing around to see if I could get a chorus line of dancers to maybe stand behind me and do a few high kicks, that kind of thing, just to give it a bit more pizzazz. But, you know, nothing coming. So
I can be your backup dancer if you like.
Yeah, please do. Anyway, my name is Andy Hurst, and I'm the course director for the Performing Arts, the Musical Theatre degrees, and I'm the suite lead as well. So I'm going to talk include the dance education degree as well in this kind of presentation. Really, much of what has been said by Alan, Miranda, and Will in terms of the scope of these degrees is going to be quite similar. The idea that we are employability focused, the idea that we're very outward facing, the idea that we're connecting as much as we can with local industry, national industry, you know, to give you the best experience that we can and help you develop those all important industry network contacts that's going to help you so much when you graduate from your degree. Broadly, though, these areas that I've got up on the screen here are how we divide our degrees up. Now, just in brief terms, the Performing Arts degree, if you like, is the central point, the centre degree. But if you want to focus specifically on musical theatre, then you'll take the musical theatre degree. That is, of course, part of the performing arts industry. And if you want to focus very specifically on dance education, learning how to become a dance teacher, maybe develop and create your own dance school, then you would take the dance education degree. But the performing arts degree as an umbrella degree looks at the performing arts industry as a whole. And really these areas that we've got here are what we're going to focus on. So performance, of course, the majority of students that come on to our degree course have their main experience to that point has been as performers through college and school. They've perhaps focused on performance, and of course we will continue that training. So training in acting and singing and dance. But we want to enable you and empower you to explore all of these other areas of the industry that aren't necessarily the focus of maybe previous schooling and college work. So management, stage management. How do you go about running a show? How do you go about creating the logistics of rehearsals to get the show on? And what happens on show night? And how do you manage a show to run smoothly from beginning to end? Production skills, you know, we look at all of the areas of production. So sound design, lighting design, costume design, set design, prop design, that kind of thing, really. So we're really looking at the way that the different areas of the industry can work together to create this final product. Alan, in his presentation about games design, said that these are large project-based modules where you are learning to work with other people, with other skill sets from the same industry. Well, it's exactly the same with performing arts. You have to know how a director will communicate with a set designer. You have to know how a projection designer will work with a lighting operator. Okay, and of course, we don't just examine what these roles are, you get to do that as well. So we're going to develop your technical and production skills. And finally, then, design really, in terms of the kind of set and the costume and the prop design, we start to work with materials and computer-aided tools as well to help you do 3D design work. That's not just for costume design and set design, but we also use computer programs to do our lighting design, our lighting visualizations, and our set visualizations. So we really do explore the entire breadth of the industry and look and examine how each of these facets interconnect to create the final performance product as a whole. I'd like to say that if you study performing arts, musical theatre, dance education, it doesn't restrict you. Effectively, what we're doing is giving you those transferable skills to find a career within the creative industries. You don't want to be pigeonholed, and you don't want to think, well, I can only work in this particular area. The stat that I've got here is one that, again, has already been mentioned. CCCU is first for graduates in work among large universities, UK universities, which is an incredible statistic. But then if you look at that second bullet point there, the creative industries sector contributes £109 billion to the UK economy roughly year on year. So it's a huge area, and there are so many different facets to the creative industries that you will be able to explore. We're going to have a look in a second at where our recent graduates have gone, so you'll see the range. So where are they now? Alan had little pictures of his graduates. Well, we've just got it in a text list here, so that's something I can learn for next time. But you can see the diverse nature of what we've got here. Theatre directors, West End and touring, performers, David from in West End musicals. For some reason, we're quite good at staffing cruise ships. Of course, I've never been on a cruise, but some of you may have been. Huge ships with potentially 3 or 4 different live venues within these huge ships, and they all need performers, and they all need a crew to run the shows. You know, the technicians, the managers, as well as the performers. And so we've been quite successful in kind of preparing people for a life on the seas. And it's a fantastic thing to do when you first graduate, if you like, leave university, because you get sort of sailed around the world on a ship, and they give you your food and lodging, and you just develop new skills that you wouldn't have developed necessarily within a kind of static theatre, if you like, at university. So it's a really great way of developing your CV for the future. West End technicians we've got here, front of house managers for various theatres. Again, stage technician, Lion King, West End, Lily. And at the bottom there, we're really proud of Anna, who played Manuela in a recent Sky TV production, A Town Called malice. So you can see the spread, you can see the range of opportunity that is there for you. And that's just within the performance industries. You know, look beyond that, we have students that have gone on to do graduate programs at the BBC to become producers at the BBC. We've got festival managers, festival bookers. So there is a very wide range of career potential for you by doing something like a performing arts degree. Now, every year as well, we try to put on a major event. This was what we did last year, All Shook Up, which is an Elvis show, themed show, if you like, the music of Elvis, but kind of a retelling of Shakespeare. We're doing Wind of the Willows this year, but I thought I'd just play you this little clip. It's an indication of how we work, where we work, and just some thoughts of some of the students that have taken part in this project last year. If you can't hear the music or anything like that, somebody shout at me and I'll see if I can fix it, but hopefully this will work.
I am playing Chad in this year's musical All Shook Up. Chad is a roving roustabout with a song in his soul and a love for the ladies. He rocks up to town and he shakes it all up, as you can imagine from the title. Love of the baby, love of my baby, love of the baby, love of my baby, hey, hey. And my baby loves me, my baby loves me.
Each year they put on a Shakespeare play, and they also do the summer musical, which last year it was Assassins. In all of them. For this show, I'm assistant director. I get to be a big part of every decision that's made really within the show. It's given me those vital skills in communication, networking, how to manage people, how to lead.
Love of my baby, love of my baby, love of my baby, love of my baby, hey, hey. And my baby loves me.
It's a proper company that runs with the producer, with the director, the musical director. There are dance leads, and then there's choreographers that are students that, you know, are all part of it. And then you get your rehearsal schedule. And actually for me, the rehearsal process is as enjoyable, if not sometimes more enjoyable than the actual shows, because you're developing your characters, you're developing relationships with others.
Decision that's made really within the show. It's given me those vital skills in communication, networking, how to manage people, how to lead.
Love of my baby, love of my baby, love of my baby.
Yeah, I think you're really set up for how you would need to work and be disciplined if you go into the West End or Broadway.
Everything I've learned so far, whether it's the practitioners or the work ethic or the technical abilities, these are all really helpful, you know, skill sets that I can then implement into, you know, the wider acting community, or, you know, if I want to carry on acting, if I want to go into theatre chaperoning, if I want to all of a sudden, you know, go backstage. I now have the knowledge of all of these tiny little pockets to then go in and work in the industry, which I think is invaluable.
Okay, sorry for messing around with the video slightly there, but you get the idea. So the students, they gain an awful lot from that process. It's quite an intensive process, happens towards the end of the year, but we do it once all of the final assessments, performance assessments are done. And so it's something they can focus on and really as an end of year celebration. So it's a fantastic thing to do. Professional networking opportunities. We try, of course, all the way through the year to link with as many professional individuals and indeed companies as we can. These images here just tell their own story, but I'll just go through them one by one quickly. On the left there, we have David Mara, who has up until very recently been part of the Harry Potter and the Cursed Child cast up in the West End. He was understudying for Hagrid as well as being part of the main ensemble. And he came and gave our students a fantastic talk on auditioning and professionalism within the industry. Just next to him, dancers there, this is Loop Dance Company, who are a contemporary dance company based in Kent. We have a very close relationship with Loop Dance Company, and some of their professional dancers come and actually take some of our modules. At the top there is our local theatre, the Marlow Theatre, which is the largest receiving house in the southeast. And has many of the shows that tour from their London West End beginnings. We are in the process of developing very, very strong links with the Marlow, so we'll be working very closely with them over the next few years. Just below that, that's the singer Gabrielle there. She didn't come and give a talk, but Gabrielle was performing as part of the Canterbury Festival last year. And again, we have close links with that festival as an international arts festival. So some of our students had the opportunity to go and work on her show, but we place many of our students across that festival doing a whole variety of roles. And then on the right there, this is Aidan Dooley from Play on Words Theatre. This is him and his creation of Tom Crean, which is an international award-winning solo performance. And again, Aidan and his wife Miriam, who run Play on Words Theatre, teach with us and teach on the degree. And again, this is about mining their knowledge really of the industry and the expertise that they offer our students in their direction and teaching is absolutely fantastic. That's it. Thank you very much. It was quick, I hope, but it gives you a flavour of the performing arts degree. So I'll stop talking there and hand over, I think, to Panos, who's going to talk to you about music. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Andy. Really, really insightful information. Very, very exciting as well. So yes, it's over to you, Panos. Are you still there? Yeah, we can see.
Hello, everyone. My name is I am course director for creative music production and technology, and I will be giving a hopefully much shorter talk about the music degrees, which is commercial music and creative music production and technology. So I'll be representing the whole of music. There are many things that have been said until now, this hour, that overlap with what I wanted to say. So I'll really focus on exactly what it is about music. And I'm going to share my slide and actually go on very quickly to play a video. So let's go here. So these are the courses I'm representing. Let me just go to the slideshow, and I'm going to start with the video. So I'm not going to talk much until the video finishes. I didn't share this. Sorry about that.
I think it stopped sharing. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I have not shared sound. Or did I? I
think
did.
we could hear. No, we could hear you. And we could hear the sound of the video. It's just, yeah, it stopped sharing for a second. Now it's back.
The Canterbury Christ Church that we were talking about. Okay.
On. Perfect. Thank you.
Set us free, we don't wanna be polishing stage, and I'm a bit of a perfectionist, and getting everything that's already sounding really nice but making it sound really, really perfectly in sync, and getting rid of any possible click and anything like that, just it's really satisfying.
So these were sort of short extracts of work from sorry, graduates we're very proud of, and they have been in touch with us. Some of them come back to teach in our courses. I just wanted to show this video first because it shows that both the music courses that we're running are style agnostic, which means that we're not fixed on any specific idea of what genre is, what style, what kind of music people have to do or have to actually learn. We believe that if you are passionate about a kind of music that you like, when you come into the course, there are many things that you will learn that will eventually help you decide where you want to go and what kind of career you want to have, and that career can change. So if I'll change a bit, here we go. So the first course I will discuss is the commercial music, and as everyone else said before, these module names and the whole structure is subject to modification, and hopefully soon we'll have a new version. But this gives you a really an idea of what it is like to study performance-oriented music in Canterbury, and essentially it focuses on performing in every kind of context. There is I've got this sticker here which says that it includes one-to-one tuition. So essentially studying at this course gives you one of the sort of rare opportunities in comparison to other courses that you don't have to pay extra to be tutored by highly expert teachers who are professional performers. And so if you look at the course, you'll see that there are some foundational things. There is a focus on performance. You see there are lots of words say performance here, all the way across, and you learn to perform on stage, solo, in bands, and also in the studio, which is one of the hardest things to do. Along with that, you get the opportunity to be a music maker in terms of composing. So there's a lot of songwriting opportunities and being able to be creative with image and with various other sort of disciplines. So you can develop your own ideas. You can make an album. You can produce an album. You can bring a band and produce a whole performance. And that can be done through a project at the end, in the third year, which is the Independent Commercial Music Project. Of course, there are other things addressed, which is if you want to do focus on teaching and leadership and education, music and psychology, you can study these modules and have an idea of where you might want to orientate yourself further on when you move on to employment. I'm going to move swiftly to the Creative Music Production and Technology course. Now, that is a course that is focused on music making. So this is for people who are either songwriters themselves or play in a band and take part in music making and composition, or are people who don't actually make music, as in writing the music, but really like to find out and actually quite passionate at trying to make people sound good. So music production and technology is about learning how to use technology and the studio to make your own music or other people's music sound good. At the level 3, at level 6, people should be able to be using professional studios, facilities that we have to produce albums and material that shouldn't be different from how the music you hear on the radio or TV sounds. So it has to sound professional, and it has to help you build a portfolio that will be demonstrating high level skills to a professional audience. Okay, so here we have studio oriented modules. So we've got studios, I'll show you some photos later on, and we have more computer-based modules such as computer audio, creative sound design, and music for sound and music for games. This is all focused on working on iMacs and Mac Studios. We use Logic, we use Ableton Live, Native Instruments Suite, lots of software suites, and we have sort of professionals design studios where whole bands and actually big ensembles can be recorded. Moving forward briefly, I'm going to show you some of the venues where performances can take place, and a lot of commercial music assessments happen there, and also a lot of fun happens. So we've got studios inside the campus, and we've got studios outside, and also performers, students organize gigs at various other places. So recently we had a venue called the Ramsgate Music Hall, where the students organized a sort of end of the year performance for bands who were made by themselves or people from outside. It was a lovely event, and that was performed, set up, live sound engineered and videoed by the students themselves. So this is an example of one of our studios. This is a mixing and mastering suite that supports stereo mastering and surround mastering. And moving forward, I'm just going to also mention some statistics like everyone does. So there's a lot of 100%. So a lot of high scores for the commercial music for the National Student Survey. And moving forward, I just want to mention that we have a lovely social music society at the Union, where our own students organize a whole range of gigs and are very good at promoting these things. So when people come in, they're invited to perform, take part, organize, and also meet friends, make bands, make music. I just want to talk about us for a little bit. So I am a recording artist. So I record, I produce, I play in a band, I go on tour when I can. But everyone who teaches in the course is a recording or a performing artist. And I'm just going to mention two here who we're very proud of. So we've got Robert Stillman, who is a saxophonist and also teaches many different things in the course. And he has been on tour with members of Radiohead with a smile. He's played in lots of huge venues on TV, and actually was an important part of the production of a soundtrack that Tom York did recently. On the right, we've got Ethan Maltby, who is the person who teaches film music and music for media, and regularly composes for many of the people that you see here, who are either for events or for film and TV. Moving forwards, just and these are sort of examples of different things that our graduates do when they finish. So beyond the little short video you saw of these people, these are sort of a range, and this is just an example of what you might do when you finish one of these two courses. I think I'll leave it there. Hope it was brief enough. and I'll stop the sharing. Thank you very much.
It was great. Thank you so much, Panas. Really, really insightful information. And I think we now jump into questions. So thank you to all for staying with us to the end. If you do have any questions, please feel free to share them within the Q&A section. Just before I start, sorry, Richard, did you want to add anything? Apologies.
Oh, no problem, Digina. Well, maybe just to mention the extended masters that we offer as a pathway that you can combine with many of our master's courses within the School of Creative Arts and Industries, including games design, sound design for film, TV, and interactive media, film and media production as well. So there's the extended masters, and also remind everyone about our pre-sessional courses in academic English as well. So we offer a 6-week, a 10-week, and an online option for our pre-sessional courses, which of course run during the summer preceding the intended degree programme. Thanks, Digina.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Richard. Really useful information. And again, just to reiterate to everyone, international scholarship is still available to all applicants. So you don't need to submit an additional application for that. You just need to submit your main application for Canterbury Christ Church University degree program, and it will be reflected within your offer letter. It's £1,500. Tuition fees at Canterbury Christ Church University are already quite affordable at 14,000, it will be basically a fee after scholarship. Again, to reiterate to those who already received an offer letter, the initial deposit payment for CAS purposes is £5,000, and you can obviously secure your space with that and start your CAS request once you have financial documents ready. Once you have received your CAS letter, you are encouraged to apply for your visa at the soonest to ensure you have plenty of time to receive your visa, to secure your accommodation, and you can arrive in the UK within 1 month prior to the start date of the program. Okay, let's see which questions we have received. Could you kindly share the presentation? Yes, absolutely. We will be sharing presentation and the recording as well to the attendees and to our partner network, just in case if you've missed it or you would like to share with your team perhaps, and also to students as well. Do students get a chance to be a part of any project while studying the course, like an internship with a production company or so? I can see, Alan, you wanted to answer that question?
I was just doing my normal enthusiastic nodding. Excellent, excellent question. That's actually been sat in the chat for ages. So we've been looking at it sometimes. So one of our approaches to kind of creative work within the School of Creative Arts and Industries is to align with industry wherever possible. Now, that means that wherever we can, we will bring commercial projects into our courses and have students working on them, because let's be quite honest, students want to be able to demonstrate industry relevant experience, and that makes complete sense. However, it can be a really bad experience if we get a student just to go out and work on an external project. And let's add some more. In terms of UK VI compliance, it's an absolute nightmare. So let's just make that really, really clear. So the way that we would support students in this case is that we would act as the intermediary between the person, or the people from industry would work as the intermediary between the student and industry to ensure that your experience actually helps you to learn and develop those skills. Because quite often industry wants cheap, quick, the highest quality. And that's fine if you are cheap and quick and of the highest quality. But when you're learning to develop those skills, you're not necessarily all of those things yet. So yes, we support you to do projects. Sometimes we support students to do an internship in the sense that they'll be working on a project, but we will always act as academic custodians, supporters, and shoulders to cry on, to be honest. So it might sound like a bit of a fudged answer, but the reality is that that will help you reach your ambitions better than us saying, go and work for Nike. So there we go. Wish we were going to Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
I'd feel much better if I was telling you this in Sri Lanka or
I think
Pakistan.
it'd be more effective.
I think so. And that idea of you know, people wanting the recording, Face to face, I can really produce perhaps a slightly better.
Yeah,
So, like, do have the recording, have the slides, but it just won't perhaps have the same je ne sais quoi that we could do in person.
I'm sure we can talk. We can talk about it. We can discuss this offline. But just going back to, I guess, the question, there is a lot of support provided by academics, as it was mentioned, by the careers at the university as well. There are useful workshops for students to attend, and personally I think students should start kind of trying to sell yourself, if you like, from day one. So attend career fairs, work on your CV, customize it for, you know, various employers, build that confidence with, you know, all those workshops available and all the support from academics available, and to be presentable in the right way for the interviews as well. And yes, internships I think is something that's definitely recommended to kind of undertake during your studies, if feasible, so that will help you to jump onto career ladder quicker once you have graduated. Is there anything you would like to add, maybe Andy, Panas, for your specific programs?
Well, exactly what Alan said is we're always trying to link things together. The main opportunity on the performing arts course is with the Canterbury Festival. So we while the festival is running, which is a 2-week period, then many of our students will then be placed within the festival, and they will work as part of that festival and the festival team and the festival staff for those 2 weeks. In many cases, the contacts that are made throughout that process are long lasting. One of our recent graduates kept in contact with the Canterbury Festival, and she's now full-time employed with the festival management team as part of that process. So yeah, there are opportunities, but as Alan said, they're quite carefully curated, I think.
Perfect. And there are so many festivals in the UK, right? Especially during summer.
I mean, there are, absolutely. But the great thing about the Canterbury Festival is it's right here next door, and it happens during our term time. So it's a win-win.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you. Panas, you have your hand raised.
Yes, I just wanted to add to that, you know, as I said before, everyone who teaches in the music course are practicing musicians and are, you know, embedded in the industry. So as soon as we're able to spot people who would be able to deliver something in the industry at any level that we believe would be reliable and would have a good experience, where we don't hesitate in making connections, and that happens all the time. We do have sessional people who come in who are most of the time working at, you know, with the industry all the time. So we've got you know, a person who's who's produced from Queen to Motorhead, and people who run their own venues and studios in the area. And we know that the students are exposed to opportunities all the time, and that happens. It happens, of course, in an informal level, and like Alan said, in a kind of like intermediary process right now because of all the complexities. But there's no, you know, no denying that the moment you come to university in this creative arts area, you are seen by people who are also in contact with industry. So there's great opportunities there.
Perfect, thank you. I think Sibel wanted to add something.
Yes, I have some question actually that I gather from students. So first of all, what is the access to the facilities in Daphne Oram for any of the programs? So do they have a schedule? They can access the facilities, or they can go whenever they want? So that's the first question.
So just to say that the Daphne Oram building is just one of the buildings on the campus, and that students should make use of all of the facilities as they see and need. So it isn't that creative arts students are restricted to just that building. It's just that it's our newest, most flash building for the creative arts, so we show it off.
Yeah, but actually, like, we've got Anselm Studios, which are incredible, which much of the performance happens there. Maxwell Davis is another building where much like music production and more performance happens. We've got Howe, where there's TV studios. So, and these buildings are sort of open and available for students to access. Obviously, there are, like the print studio for graphics, there are things that we would do risk assessments and training. So not anyone and everyone we would expect to be able to use it. But if they were to get in touch and message and email, because there is a sense of collaboration between all of the courses, anyone could be trained up to use it at sort of a base level.
Yeah.
Can I add that with international students, we've found quite often they're incredibly polite and incredibly used to a structure that doesn't always exist in UK higher education, in the sense that you'll have scheduled teaching times, you'll have access to resources during those times, but we're quite cheeky and quite assertive as creatives, and we almost expect our students to be saying, oh, I know that facility is free at the moment, can I go use it? So we've had, I'm thinking about Path, who was, for the first 3 months with us, was so apologetic, and he was worried about going into a room when there was either another class going on or if he was allowed to use the facilities. And we basically told him that you're paying for this. We want you to make most use of access to staff and access to facilities. And once he'd figured that one out, he then ran with it and did loads of stuff. So yeah, you have a schedule of access, but push it.
Yeah, and one thing I just add is we are talking about, like, the tip of the iceberg of facilities here. Like the library that we have is sort of multi-award winning, like it's incredible library. And within that, we've got the careers department who, like, some of the things that we're talking about, opportunities. I mean, we had a student last year, Girish, and Girish was back and forth to London all the time, meeting up with industry based off his meetings with the careers department. So,
and learning water polo.
And and he got into sports societies and did loads of stuff. So, like, the course isn't just the only thing. Like, what you can do here is monumental in terms of the opportunities. Like, yeah, we're the tip of the iceberg.
And the other question I had is, what is the collaboration between the different departments? Like between, for example, music and photography, if there is any project that they do combined, or if everybody is doing a little bit their own thing.
We have actually just collaborated with the music department. Our year 2 photography students went to photograph the live performances, Panos, didn't they? And then
Lovely, that's great, yes.
Yeah, and then there was a festival taking place, which the photographers then carried on following the musicians to and providing profile shots and event photography for the music. So it's great.
Games as well. So
yeah,
we would like to do much more in terms of on the courses. It can be a bit tricky, if I'm honest, to make them happen. But what we try and encourage is for students to collaborate with other students and build those links. I know that's more difficult for international students, perhaps.
The other thing I would say is, as I mentioned earlier, we're rewriting the courses. We're actually writing it so that there will be set interdisciplinary modules. So we're going to try to create much more of these opportunities to collaborate. Then if people were looking at postgraduate taught levels, we have specific collaborative modules where students from all different disciplines in the creative arts work together. So if you're thinking of masters, that's embedded in what we teach already. And then, so we're bringing it more and more into the undergraduate, but we do get students that naturally go out. So I've got graphic students that make film posters for the film students, who make like album cover work. So people do tend to find a way because they want to. And because, as lecturers, we all get along and kind of help. So you might see the opportunity and we'll reach out to the other academic to make that happen.
And the last question is the size of the classes that I have. How big are the classes? How, they have a one-to-one contact with
I'm just
actually the
aware that
lecturers?
Panos up here has got his hand up. So let's Panos, is there something you need to say?
This was just to follow on about the collaboration, is that we say to our students that if you want to be an interesting musician, you actually need to be hanging out with non-musicians too, and actually sometimes more. So we do tell people you need to go around, you need to meet people outside and develop artistic relationships with musicians, but also non-musicians, because you are creating a portfolio of work and that you're creating relationships which would last for your whole life.
Panos, if it helps, on games we say go hang around with the musicians because they're so much cooler than all of you lot.
That's
Okay.
a perfect
So,
yes.
we had another question, and then I'm just aware that there's an excellent question from 12 about games design course. Can a student from a background of humanities be eligible for this course? Now, this probably, the reason I'm picking on this is that I think this works with what we're discussing generally. We are interested in teaching the most interesting students. In the way that Panos up here was just saying, go and talk with students from other courses. The reason that he wants people mixing with people from other courses is because they bring different perspectives that will then influence creative practice. So if you're a humanities student, if you're a historian and you want to make games, come on the course. If you know French and you want to come on games, come on the course. If you're, I don't know, a theologian and you want to study music and you've done a bit of music, go study music. You will enrich everyone's experience. You'll gain more knowledge about your subject discipline, and you'll be a far more interesting designer, musician, photographer, creative than someone who has just gone down that route all the way.
But
So,
we'll have them as well, because they might be really good, but absolutely.
But you'll make them better.
But you'll make them better. Yeah, exactly.
Excellent. Thank you so much. I'm
Oh,
just
there was a question about class size, wasn't it? Sorry.
Class size.
Sorry, Sybil. So
yeah.
Class sizes are determined largely by the resource. How about that for a sexy answer? So our teaching rooms quite often would be a maximum of 25 students in a class. If you're in an environment like a recording studio, that'd be far smaller. So the point is that we teach according to the relevance of the discipline. It means that sometimes a theory lecture might be large. You might have the whole cohort of 50 students or 70 students in a room at one time, but other things might be taught in smaller groups. I think generally within the school, classes are not normally any larger than 25 students. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so. I think that it's that thing of making sure there's enough one-on-one time, support time. But I think absolutely it's that case, like some of the photography studios,
Yeah, you can't have more than a sort of 8 to 10 students at a time for
in
them
that
to really
room
benefit from working in the studio, and the dark rooms as well. Yeah, so those types of specialist spaces are generally smaller class sizes.
Thank you. I think Panos would like to add something.
And just about the one-to-ones, we're all aware of the fact that a lot of, some of the coursework that you do would require you to sit on a computer with headphones and do work without talking to other people. And that can be isolating and sometimes doesn't give you any measure of where you are. So especially in these modules, we make a point of actually seeing regularly every single one, even for a short session on a one-to-one, to make sure everyone is on board and everyone's following through.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. Some great answers there. Okay, so we have a question in regards with the suitability interview. I would imagine it's more to do with the compliance team, though unfortunately they're not present here. But when it comes to suitability interview, the university obviously would like to see that students have done sufficient research about the actual university, about the program, why they've chose this specific course and the university as well, what the future career plans are, to ensure that students are knowledgeable about the financial side of things as well, because obviously that's something that may come up during UKVI interview if it does happen. But the team on the ground who supports students with consultations from the in-uni side make sure that you are well prepared for those credibility interviews conducted by the university. Is there anything to add on the credibility interview, Richard?
I don't think so, Dagina. No, I think you answered that very well.
Thank you. Just to also add, please ensure once you have received your unconditional offer letter, please don't wait. Start booking your credibility interview at the soonest, because it's May now. So obviously it's getting closer to the intake date. So the slots will become more limited. If you're having any issues whatsoever, maybe on the technical side, and you're not able to book it through the student portal. Please do reach out to my team on the ground. They will be capturing your details and trying to help you with booking that interview manually through the admissions and compliance team as well. But it's really important that you book your interview at the soonest once you have received your unconditional offer letter. Okay, and the last question, because I'm quite mindful of time, that's one of the longest webinars we've had, but lots of fun as well and lots of information. And say again.
One of the best, surely.
It definitely. Okay, another one on this. Do we have visiting faculties for the program, like people already working in the field and they come and take classes or workshops at the campus?
Yes.
Yeah.
Broadly.
I think have a lot of,
Go for it.
lots of photographers working in the field, doing exactly that, coming to take classes and give one-to-one feedback on students' portfolios. And also, you know, really helpfully, particularly in photography, in the photography studio, kind of teaching students techniques, lighting techniques, post-production techniques, which, you know, they've evolved themselves just by the field and the industry in which they work. So yeah, that's very, very core to our course, definitely.
Yeah, I think all of ours will constantly bring in industry, as mentioned in the presentation. We've got the art directors of Penguin coming in, but you know, the lecturers themselves have all worked in industry, so their knowledge is there. But also we're all of us are bringing in expertise, and so that students are sort of their education is just enriched by it and getting to see it. And as Alan was touching, sometimes it's that issue of some people think that they want to go and do like a year in industry, and then we find that they're just doing the photocopying or making the coffees. So us bringing them in more and more into set briefs and to sort of critique work makes it much more accessible, and it means that we're able to sort of really support the students on that journey with industry. I mean, and again, for like games, you've got the guys who make sort of Fortnite and Mediatonic, so
bring them in.
There's sort of constantly, I'd say, you know, almost every other week, there's probably someone between our courses coming in to support the students.
Excellent. Thank you so much. All right. I think we've covered all the questions here, but if there are any further questions, feel free to reach out to InUni team and we will take it from there. Thank you so much to the academics team. Brilliant webinar, very exciting, very insightful, and I'm sure students will be applying if they haven't applied yet to the Canterbury Christ Church University School of Arts. Just to reiterate, the deadlines are approaching very, very soon, so please do submit your outstanding documents. If not done so, arrange consultations, book precast interviews, and get your CAS requests sorted as well, so that admissions and compliance team can look into that. Please stay tuned. We have webinars every single week with Canterbury Christ Church University, so we will be notifying you on the next webinar soon. Thank you all once again. Have a great rest of the day and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye everyone. Thank you.
Bye.